what can golfers learn from your experience of how you went from, you know, middling like college player to very good professional? Like, how can we make something click to really start like shooting better scores on the course? Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking the video. I'm here with Eric Meichtry. Hi, Eric.
Brendan.
Good to see you.
Merry Christmas.
Eric and I have a mutual friend and decided to get together after talking together some on Instagram. Eric, I know you because you are a professional golfer from this area. You've won the Long Beach Open twice. And to me, that's like amazing. That's a very, very difficult tournament to win. Very easy tournament to get into, very difficult to win.
Just pay your money and play.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If you got the money, you can get in. Well, Eric, you won it in, and people on the channel have seen, we did a vlog where Monty, who's been on my channel, you know, we followed him around the Long Beach Open, and I've done some profiles on it. What years did you win?
I was runner-up in 2010, won in 11, and won in 14.
Wow, that's great. That's really cool. So tell us a little bit about your history in professional golf. I know we were just talking about your kind of interesting college experience. Tell me about, so now you're 49 now?
Yeah.
So tell us, you've been like a steady, you've only recently started teaching, but you've been a steady playing professional for years. So tell us like about that.
You know, compared to today's talent and kids, I got started late. You know, I turned pro out of college in '93 from St. Mary's up in Northern California, and turned pro in '94, retired in '95 after we got married. Our 1-year anniversary, I retired. Moved in with my parents, saved some money, played some tournaments, made some, qualified for then what was called the Hooters Tour back east. Yeah. So from '97 through '01, my wife and I lived out of the car on the road 10 months a year, chasing golf. And so I turned pro in '94, which was way too soon. I wasn't good enough. I thought I was. Right. I had a guy who was going to give me some money, so I turned pro. So my competitive journey started as a professional on the road back east, and I had no business and no clue how to play, how to compete. Okay. So I learned playing with guys like Zach Johnson, Chad Campbell, Mark Willison, Wes Short on Champions Tour, and a whole ton of guys that were kicking my butt. And I'm looking at them, they're shooting 20, 25 under par, and I couldn't break 75. I'm like, what the hell am I doing out here? Right? So our first year in '98, we played 20 tournaments, and I made 2 cuts. Wow. And one of the tournaments, I shot 18 under and finished second to Chad Campbell by a shot. Somehow. Yeah, I have no idea. Right. I wasn't that good.
Yeah, right. So you played way above your.
I played way above, but I knew something was in there that I had to keep chasing. You know, so our next year we went out in '98, and I made some adjustments, not to my golf swing, but just the way that I saw the golf course. And instead of trying to attack courses the way I thought those guys were shooting 20 under par every week, I saw it as changing my philosophy of going, you know what, I'm just going to make 18 pars, and we'll get into this as we go.
So it used to be like, I'm going to make as many birdies as possible.
I figure those guys are shooting 20 under par every week, so I'm figuring everybody's going after everything. So I was going after everything. Yeah. Short-siding myself, making bogeys, shooting 75, and I'm like, God, how are these guys doing it, right? So from '97 to '98, in between the off season, I just kind of looked at what I did and looked at how I can do it different, and I said, I'm going to just make 18 pars. So I saw the golf course different, and I just put it in play, put it on the green, and make or miss a putt, and I was shooting in the 60s without even changing anything about my technical golf game. Yeah. Just changed my philosophy, right? Yeah. So now I'm making cuts. I contended a couple times in '98, and I sucked in '97. Okay. But I turned pro too soon. So these kids are getting all this experience, you know, with amateur tours and all this stuff. We didn't have that in the late '90s. We had a couple local events. So, you know, so I changed a few things the way I saw the golf course, and I was, you know, almost won a couple times in '98. And guys are like,
on Hooters Tour?
On the Hooters Tour. Yeah. They're like,
You know?
what did you do? How do you do? I'm
It's like, we know you.
Yeah, you're not that good.
Well, you know, yeah, you're a donator to
Yeah,
this tour.
I
Yeah,
was a
right.
donator,
Yeah,
big
right.
time.
Yeah.
So 98 was better, 99 was better, 2000 was not so great. We had our first daughter in 99.
Okay.
So we flew her out the middle of 99 in July. So 5 weeks old, flew her to Orlando.
Yeah.
So, you know, she traveled with us when she was 5 weeks old for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And then 2000, we were out there, and along the way we had picked up a sponsor. That one event that I finished second in 97, met a guy that hooked us up for a few years. So 2000, I wasn't doing that well, and the week of the Tour Championship in Atlanta, a good friend of ours, Tyler Williamson, was driving from Atlanta to Birmingham, about a 3-hour drive to go see his instructor.
Yeah.
My wife's like, let's go. Let's just go with him, because he invited me along.
Yeah.
You never know, this was Tuesday before the tournament started Thursday, so.
Yeah, smart.
So we drove, 3 hours. I worked with this guy, Eric Eshelman, in Birmingham for 45 minutes. We worked on posture and setup.
Okay.
And I go to the Pro-Am on Wednesday, and I shot like 80.
Yeah.
But things were feeling a little different. They felt
Yeah,
good.
not every 80 is equal.
No,
Yeah, right.
so I'm like, okay, there's something in there. So the tournament starts, and Chad Campbell won 8 times that year, right? So he was playing well.
He was a legend there. Yeah.
Oh, big
right.
time. Yeah, that guy was freaking good. So I shoot 70, 71, 69, 70, something like that.
Yeah.
Only guy to shoot under par all 4 days. Golf course was brutal.
Oh, okay.
And I birdied the last hole to win by a shot and won 50 grand.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's cool.
like,
Yeah.
and the guys again, you? I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So again, something was in there that I had to keep chasing, because I was learning so much along the way.
You still felt like, I'm kind of now hanging with these guys, and I really haven't even come close to my potential yet.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what my potential was. I
Oh,
was
okay, gotcha.
learning, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I watched these guys hit it and play, and our first year out there in 97, because I had 18 out of 20 weekends off, right? So we saw a lot of national parks, zoos,
Yeah.
a lot of hiking, and I also caddied for the guys that were playing well.
Right,
Some
yeah.
friends, so I'd go watch them play.
Yeah, so if
You
they
know,
got
so-
into a tournament that you didn't, or something like that.
Yeah,
you
when
would-
they would make the cut, and I was missing every cut, so
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
hey, I'll caddy for you this weekend. Yeah, sure, come along.
Yeah.
Right. So then I was able to see what they were doing and what the winners were doing.
And it felt different than what you were doing.
Oh, way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching them. One, they were better ball strikers, but two, the way that they were moving it around the golf course was different than what I was doing.
Yeah.
Right. So I learned a lot. So I was just learning. It was like a 5-year internship on the Hooters Tour of how to play professional golf.
Right.
It was expensive, because I'm doing it on the road with a wife and then a kid. So it was an expensive education, but I learned a ton. How to compete, how to travel, how to win, how to lose, just everything about the game.
Yeah.
To be better. 'Cause
And then going into the 2000s, tell me about that time. The
So we-
2000s into.
So we went back out there in 01 and didn't have a very good year. And we still had all of our stuff with my parents. So they moved down here in 02.
Yeah.
And we were at a point where, because we had another daughter in 01, August of 01. So my wife said, we were going to stay up in Northern California and get jobs and call golf. Hey, we're done.
Yeah, give it a shot.
And she said, are you done? I go, what do you mean? I said, are you done with golf? You done competing? I go, no, I want to keep going. She said, let's go. Let's move down with mom and dad.
Yeah.
And they live right here on the 8th fairway. So
Yeah.
they bought a 4,000 square foot house, just the two of them.
Your parents.
My parents.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we moved down here with them. So that was August of 02. And again, came down here, and I was watching guys on Golden State Tour and Pepsi Tour shooting, 131, 132 for 2-day events. I'm like, damn, these guys are freaking good down here too. So,
Yeah, right.
so I played at a few Pepsi events. All right, we moved down here in 02, and I won them. I won all 5 of them that I played.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, well, okay. Well, because it was like, okay, these guys are shooting in the mid 130s and low 130s. So I'm like, well, that must be what I have to do. So, so I did it.
Yeah.
And then,
And it was still same philosophy though. You weren't like going out there trying to shoot 65, 65. You were still like trying, it was a very conservative approach, would you say?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was our only income for my family, for my wife and 2 daughters, was me playing because she wasn't working. So every $20 bill meant something to me. So I had to make checks.
Right.
And
so it wasn't so much like that, okay, I'm going out there, I have to win. You're going out there, it's like, I have to cash.
I have to cash.
Yeah.
Because if I bring something home, and it was, we still had a little bit of help from just local people that kind of, hey, here's some money, go play in a tournament, right? So, so I was cashing a lot. Not big, but I was cashing a lot and I was winning. And then,
what was it to win a Pepsi Tour event then, like in 2002? Like those 5 wins you had, like what were they?
1,000,
yeah, right.
1,500 bucks. Yeah, not
yeah.
much at all.
Yeah.
Same as it is now.
Yeah.
So we moved here, so this became my home course. And October of 2002, 2-day event, Golden State event, and I shot 62 here in the first round. And it got done. I was 6 under through 7. I made a bunch of pars, and I finished birdie, par, eagle, birdie, and I shot 62. And I'm walking off the course. My wife was up there. She's like, "How'd you play?" I'm like, "Played pretty good. I'd never shot 62 before."
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
that was your career round.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I go, "Played good. I shot 62." She's like, "What?" And she's going crazy. I'm like, "Yeah, it was kind of easy."
Yeah.
So I shot the course record here, and Fowler tied it a few years later in high school.
Yeah.
So after that, and then I shot 71 the second day and won by a few. Yeah. So after that.
So that was a little bigger check, Golden State Tour.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Not much. $2,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
because we're only playing with 30 guys, 40 guys.
Yeah.
So I immediately when we moved down here, I was winning. So obviously the attention is, who the hell is that guy? Right. And because everything else was back east. I never played much professional golf on the West Coast, even though I was from here.
Yeah.
So I was winning. So I'm thinking, okay, this was the end of 2002. 2003 is going to be great. Well, I started sucking again because I still wasn't that good.
The ball striking wasn't quite there.
No, it was just okay.
Sporadic, yeah.
But I knew how to get it around and shoot scores. I could drive the ball well and I can putt. That was kind of my big thing. The irons were just kind of okay. So the beginning of 2003, I missed like 5 or 6 straight checks, and just in Golden State stuff. So I'm like, crap. Money ran out. I'm like, I got to do something. So I got a job at Outback Steakhouse waiting tables. That's what I did in Northern California for a little, local family-owned joint. Waited tables and made great money. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go down there. And so I went down to Outback and waited tables, and it was horrendous. I was working 3 or 4 nights a week. I'd come home with $15, and because I'm the new guy.
Yeah, right.
So they stick me in the crappy section and all that. So I mean, it was just terrible. So I reconnected with the guy from Missouri that sponsored us on the Hooters tour, and I go, "Hey Brad, dude, I need help." So he flies me to Vegas. We meet up for a night, and he's like, "I can help you." So he was able to just give me a credit card number, and when I'd have tournaments, I'd at that time send him an email.
Entry fees.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'd cover entry fees.
Yeah, that's great.
So he covered one up in Northern California, and I finished second, made like $2,800. Called Outback and said, "I quit."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Tell the other guys their tips are gonna be a little bigger.
Yeah. So all along the way there was just something in there that I had to keep chasing.
Yeah.
Right.
Many people would have moved on to something different. Yeah.
Guys are way more talented than I was.
That stopped playing.
That stopped playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I had to keep digging. There's something. Right. So 04 was okay. 05, got better, and then I qualified for the U.S. Open at Pinehurst in 05. I just had a tremendous experience.
That's cool. Michael Campbell.
He
won that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool, playing the U.S. Open. So then, what did you see as the difference between your game and then that different level? As far as like, Retief Goosen and Tiger.
I played just okay, and I ended up finishing double bogey, par bogey to miss the cut by a shot. Okay. And I didn't play that great. I played good, but not like,
Right. Felt like if you had breaks one this way or that way,
just
maybe.
a few better choices or a little less interference with whatever skill I brought to it, So I'm like, God, that wasn't that hard. I could play with these guys.
Yeah, that's that's supposed to be as hard as it gets, the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
so,
it's not
right.
the deepest field, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the obviously very strong field, but not the deepest because you get a bunch of knuckleheads like me that qualify. Right. So,
but the setup is supposed to be
setup,
the toughest.
the setup is very difficult. Obviously, the rough and the greens and
hard greens,
even par wins.
Yeah. Balls, yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then later that year, I won the State Open at Red Hawk.
California State Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat Brendan Steele in a playoff. I beat him, I think, in 2 or 3 playoffs.
Well, okay. Yeah.
So he won in Texas.
Here's a guy making millions and millions of dollars. You're like, well, at one point, I was consistently beating this guy.
Dude, he's a great guy, man. So I won that, and I was kind of winning little things here and there still.
Yeah.
I'd won over 50 times professionally, just Hooters and Gateway and everything else. So, so again, there's something there that I have to keep chasing.
Yep.
And I just kept chasing. And then I had a friend of mine pull me aside, and he asked me, he goes, "Why haven't you made it on tour yet?" And I said, "Well, I need sponsors to take the pressure off so I can just go play with no pressure." And he's like, "That's not it."
Yeah, because I've heard, I'm friends with some mini tour players. I hear that line many times.
It's easy to use.
Yeah,
I just need money to take the pressure off. I'm like, it's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes, and he said that. He goes, "No." He goes, "That's not it." He goes, "Your golf swing stinks." I'm like, and I was like, "What? Your golf swing stinks."
Let's be honest.
Nobody's ever told me that.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Because you're hanging out with like guys like here on the range, and you're shooting 62. They figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, "You got an hour?" It was right after I finished a Golden State at TCI.
Now, who is this guy that you would even listen to him?
His name is Kerry Schoen.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I've seen his videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
Amazing golf swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, and this guy could hit it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Kills it, right?
He kills it.
Yeah.
Just so solid with the golf swing and the information. And at the time he was the Golf Machine, Homer Kelly's information, right? So he pulled me aside and he said, here's why, and we took it. And he said, what do you feel you're like? And I go, I feel like I'm like Zach Johnson. I kind of feel like I hold it off. And he's like, you are nothing like what you think you feel like, right? And that's our perception of what we feel like sometimes. Yeah. So we videoed some stuff. He explained it. He showed me. I go, wow, my golf swing does stink. But I was still winning these events, playing in U.S. Open with a less than desirable impact. Yeah. So. But it was
show me, like before you were talking to Carrie, just face onto the camera. Show me what your impact was, because it's something we talk about on the channel all the time.
Yeah.
Was it like this?
No,
or
it
this?
was.
So just turn that way.
You want me to go this way?
Yeah,
I'll show the path the other way. So I would go under and shut, which I still do a little bit, and I'd come this way, and I'd come over, and I'd be up like this.
You stand it up.
So
and
if
you
we
also
go
get
this
taller
way.
through impact a little bit?
Yeah, because I'm coming in and coming over, so my clubs were 4 degrees upright.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because my impact was, it was like this, because I was coming in and throwing it this way. So the way I was able to get around was I was taking a shut or square club face and kind of dragging it through the bottom. Yeah. So sometimes it'd be solid, but I could miss it better than anybody. That's how I was able to play. Right, so the compression wasn't that great.
Because your rate of closure on the face or whatever was just dragged through the. So it was like if it was missed, it was still straight.
It was still straight, right? So I can clunk it around the golf course. So the year I won the State Open, Kerry and I were paired together, and we didn't know each other that well. But I'm watching him and listening to him, and at the time I didn't know I was bad. Right. I just thought hey, I'm great. Look I'm shooting those scores.
You've
I'm
been
winning
a professional
tournaments.
now for 7 years or something.
Yeah, like hey, I'm good. He's like, dude, this guy sucks. So we spent a couple years together. He used to teach at TCI, and trying to get me with the more neutral grip so I can get the face to rotate more and be here and do this. And I couldn't do it because I couldn't get this hand neutral. It always wanted to get over strong, and I wanted to be under here, and he wanted this face to rotate, right? Which was the golfing machine's way of doing things, right? So we spent a couple of years trying to get it, and I couldn't.
Wow. Now think about that, everybody watching. A couple of years, a guy, great athlete, professional golfer, just to make a grip change, really.
It's the grip change at that time was like the big key to get that face to get opened or more neutral versus shut the way I have it. So you know, it would go, and I'll do it this way. I would go under like this, up. If we're hitting just a little 20-yard pitch shot, for me it would be, it was this way, up, over, and like this for a ball to go that far, right? And we traded that in, and I still don't have the face rotating, but we traded that in for getting it to go on plane here, falling down this way, impacting, and then going to there. I had it wandering this way, up, over, and pulling across because my face was so shot. And it took me, working on it 5 days a week, it took me a year just to get that versus all of this. Right?
And it was a lot of shots like we just saw, the little pitch shots more than full swings.
Hours just doing little things, getting it on plane, changing directions.
Now, were you able to play well during a swing change like that?
That's why it took so long, and that's why.
Because every time you got a tournament, you just, hey, I need to make a check. So
needed that $20 bill,
right.
And he'd be yelling at me, would you just shoot 80 so we can get on with this? So you abandon that and we can move on to this. I'm like, Kerry, I can't afford to shoot 80.
Yeah, right.
I can't. So I'm still winning golf tournaments in the transition.
But he knows there's no way for you at the next level with that swing.
That's what he's like, you can't go out there with what you have. That's why you can be successful here, because the courses aren't that hard, competition isn't that deep, right? So there isn't rough and the greens are soft, and you can go out and miss it and get away with it and shoot 65, right? But take it out there, it wouldn't, I never got through Q school, so I'd never got out there to even test it. But again, playing in the US Open, I took my junk out there in 05 because we met in 07, and I'm like, this isn't that hard. But it still wasn't good enough. You know.
So then going on past that, now we're getting into your Long Beach Open success years. So then these changes were starting to click a little bit more. The ball striking was, and impact was getting a little better.
Yeah, we had kind of separated because he moved over to Orange County, and he was working and teaching at, I can't remember what the place was. So it was hard for me to get over there and work with him, right? So we slowly just kind of drifted apart over a couple of years, and you know, I haven't connected with him in probably 2 or 3 years. You know, so we had separated, which at the time for me was very healthy, because it allowed me to take what he had taught me and make it mine, right? So I learned a tremendous amount from that guy, and you know, thank him a ton. We don't connect anymore, but the stuff I learned about the golf swing with him those years is kind of it's not what I teach now, but it's a big part of my fabric of how I play and how I teach. You know, but I was able to make it mine, and obviously with whatever adjustments, I didn't intend to make adjustments, but it just organically, it's like, okay, well, you know, this, and I started to really hit the ball a lot better and actually compressing it. So I'm like, wow. So I then took another leap of getting better, right? So
you were shooting like 62s and 65s with like a glancing hit almost.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
just
crazy.
You know, I mean, I was able to do it, but it'd be kind of thin. There was never, because I was coming through this way rather than keeping the hands coming in close and turning it down this way and going. I was coming through like this and just kind of wiping it out there.
Okay. So moving on to all right. So now let's talk about kind of how you had this experience. Be Better Golf is a lot of golfers that have been playing for a long time and really feel like they've plateaued, and really feel like, and that's basically what sends them to YouTube, is I've been playing for a while and I'm stuck on this number, and now I'm starting to get older, and it's just going the wrong way. What can golfers learn from your experience of how you went from, you know, middling like college player to very good professional? Like, how can we make something click to really start like shooting better scores on the course?
The process of change is it's lengthy, because we get comfortable doing something a certain way, and then we go get information from an instructor to do it differently, right? So making those changes, we encode information into our neurons, into our muscles, so it becomes habit,
Yep.
right? So the way that I believed in hitting that 40-yard chip shot, I believed in it so much that it was so deep in it. That's why it took me so long to make the change.
Yeah.
Is because when a 40-yard chip shot was in front of me, it would go to what my muscles knew through memory, right? It's like, hey, you do it this way. So changing, it's having information you believe in. That's huge, right? And then it's putting the reps in without any regard to what the results are going to be.
Yeah.
Because if I am sitting here trying to make a change and I want something out there, and I explained to my students, I said, there's this area and then there's this side of the area. So we're learning here and it's separate from performing.
Yeah.
So if we're trying to learn and we're still attached to performance, we're going to go to what we're comfortable doing to get something out here. So we have to abandon that and stay here and say, if you're telling me to do something, let's do it without any attachment to the result. We can use it for feedback, but we don't want to try to get it while we're trying to learn something. Right? So if we can abandon the performance and stick to whatever blueprint we're trying to get after together, then the process of change can speed up because we are making a change to something.
Okay.
Right? So, but it takes time. And I tell my students, I said, when we're working on something, we work on it here. When you go play, abandon what we work on and just go play.
And just hope that some of it is seeped into your...
It will, because that's what we're training, right? So as long as we're on a consistent schedule, and I like to see them at least once a week, right? So where we can get after it, and we'll spend 60 or 90 minutes together going through it, and then you go work on it, and then we'll see you next Tuesday, and you go work on it, and when you go play, and it's hard because we want to do what we learn, we want to do it out there, but just go respond to stimuli out there, which are targets and distances and whatever, without trying to respond to that out there with what we're doing here. Let's work like hell here and just go. Your reward is to abandon this and go play.
Well guys, we're going to do more videos with Eric. If you're interested in meeting up with Eric, because he's teaching lessons in between before he starts to really go out on the road during a lot more tournaments. You're here, which we are at Rancho, California, golf club at Rancho, California in Murrieta, California. So you can connect with Eric. Is Instagram the best way?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I've been, I'm not a big social media guy yet.
Okay.
And I have a personal Instagram with family stuff and the normal stuff. And,
Right.
But I will be starting an Instagram page to start to put some stuff, because I have students that are achieving cool things. An 8-year-old student he was the player of the year, the sportsman of the year, and the most improved for the VJGA Tour. Took a nice picture with Ricky Fowler a few nights ago.
Yeah. Cool.
So and I talked to the dad, and I've been with this kid for about 1.5 years, and said, hey, I'd love to share this with, my people. I said, absolutely. So I have students that are starting to achieve some cool things that I'd like to share, but I don't want it to be the typical golf Instagram like we talked earlier, just the befores and afters. But I've got a lot of information over nearly 30 years of chasing this professionally that I feel that it'd be fun to share.
So Eric's Instagram is linked in the comment box below. I'll put it in a little title right here when he decides what it is before I make out this video. Thanks a lot, Eric. That was fun.
My pleasure.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.